Welcome to our webinar today. I'm Eileen Brummett. I'm the moderator, so keep things running here. I am the client success specialist at Pivvot, and I help clients with their projects and delivering the uh, necessary kind of connection between the platform and how they're doing their work so that they are successful. Our webinar today is how leading oil and gas teams reduce project delays and risks. Just a few housekeeping items at the beginning here. You are muted and you are not able to chat directly with us, but the Q&A is open at the bottom of the Zoom screen. And you can add a question there at any time. Anything that pops up throughout the session, if you could type it in there, that would be great. And we'll answer all the questions at the end that we can. And if we don't get to a question that you have, we can email you later or contact you later and follow up if we don't get to it. So please feel free to ask any questions or let us know any of your thoughts. Another kind of housekeeping thing, so I'm just going to scooch forward to my next slide here, is that on the Zoom screen, if you aren't familiar with it, you can slide. There's a little slider in between my face and the slide that you can slide back and forth to make the slide bigger if you want to see something detailed. I know this slide is probably a little bit more detailed, so you can make it bigger. Just a real quick kind of update from what we are doing at Pivvot. You're going to hear a lot about our application and how teams use it. But I just wanted to kind of throw out, we have other updates going on. One of them is in our siting application. Siting is for helping with prospecting for sites for large scale projects. And we've added some capabilities to search in proximity to data centers, fiber optic lines, transportation, and wetlands and flow lines. And so that gives you, if you were to use siting, more options and more use cases to find sites near those features. So it's just an exciting update that recently happened. So we're always making updates to the platform to meet customer need and demand. And data centers is definitely one of those new kind of frontiers. And another thing that we often do is add data layers. Again, you're going to hear a little bit about our data today, but you can always depend on our data team to put new layers into the platform. I was just looking at a list, and several layers per year have been added throughout the course of time since Pivvot was incepted. So you can always find layers that are being added to meet different needs for different clients. The fiber optic cable line is what I have on the screen as an example. So that was recently added in order to help our clients' sites, data centers, and co-locate with data centers. So that fiber optic network is important to have that information to make those decisions. And now I'm going to introduce our presenters. I'm going to move my screen. Okay, so today we have Justin and Matt presenting. Justin Calvert is the Director of Software Engineering at Pivvot, where he plays a crucial role in spearheading the development and implementation of cutting-edge software solutions. With over a decade of experience, Justin has specialized in the intersection of software development and geographic information systems, GIS, bringing a wealth of knowledge and expertise to his role. And Matt Pivvot is also going to give us some insight today. And Matt is a seasoned geospatial professional with over a decade of experience, specializing in GIS pipeline routing, data integration, and infrastructure analysis. Currently serving as project execution manager at Pivvot, Matt leads a technical service workflow, oversees QA processes, and plays a key role in product development by aligning technical workflows with client needs. He's instrumental in driving client success through training, documentation, and direct project support for the Pivvot platform. His work supported pipeline development across multiple states, has supported pipeline development across multiple states, including HCA verification and MAOP validation initiatives. And so to hand it over to them in a second, Matt and Justin are going to discuss the project risks and delays that oil and gas teams can face and how to mitigate those risks through communication, iteration, project planning, and creating a common operating picture. So with that, I'm going to hand it over to Matt.
Thanks, Eileen. Let me get my screen sharing going on here for you. All right, thanks, Eileen, and thank you all for joining us today. I'm going to go ahead and get things started by talking about reducing risk, and then I'll turn it over to Justin in a little bit so he can take us through reducing project delays. So let's start with what we mean by reducing risk. In the oil and gas industry, the word risk can refer to several things, including environmental risk, safety hazards, political risk, even market risk. What we're talking about today is mitigating risk in the project planning and execution process. Mitigating risk in project planning involves a systematic approach to identifying potential issues that could derail project success. This process includes assessing the likelihood of risks occurring and their potential impact. By developing proactive strategies, project managers can significantly reduce or eliminate these risks, allowing for smoother execution and improved project outcomes. So now that we're all on the same page and we have our definition of risk mitigation in project planning, we can talk about what Pivvot is and how it helps oil and gas teams. So Pivvot is a cloud-based platform designed to streamline the planning process for energy projects. It provides advanced geospatial intelligence and data-driven tools that help organizations overcome challenges related to speed to market, complex permitting requirements, and tight schedules. As we move forward, we'll take a closer look at the process of mitigating risk. We'll explore the steps involved in gathering data, running analysis, making adjustments, and reviewing results to ensure effective risk management, and how Pivvot expedites the planning process to ensure efficiency and effectiveness. Let's talk about a common pattern in oil and gas projects that involves 4 key elements: defining project objectives, gathering necessary data, running analysis, and reviewing results. First, we start by defining our objectives. This step is crucial as it sets the direction for the entire project. We need to be clear about what we aim to achieve and the goals we want to accomplish. Next, we gather the necessary data. This involves collecting all the relevant information that will help us make informed decisions. Data can come from various sources, including industry standard data, field surveys, historical records, and industry reports. Once we have the data, we run the analysis. This step involves processing the data to extract meaningful insights. We use advanced tools and techniques to analyze the data and identify patterns, trends, and potential risks. Finally, we review the results. This step is about evaluating the outcomes of our analysis and making necessary changes. We need to understand where the data came from and what is driving the output. If required, we make adjustments to ensure we're on the right track. By following this pattern, we can effectively mitigate risks and ensure the success of our oil and gas projects. Now, this common workflow of defining objectives, gathering data, running analysis, and reviewing results is generally very manageable. However, it can be significantly impacted by 3 key factors: scale, uncertainty, and analysis paralysis. First, let's talk about scale. As projects grow larger, the complexity increases exponentially. Managing large-scale projects can be daunting, and it's easy to feel overwhelmed by the sheer volume of data and tasks. Next, we have uncertainty. In the oil and gas industry, there are many variables that can change unexpectedly. This uncertainty can make it difficult to plan and execute projects effectively. Finally, there's an analysis paralysis. When faced with too many possibilities and decisions, it's easy to get stuck in a loop of endless analysis without making any progress. By understanding and addressing these factors, we can better manage our projects and mitigate risks. Pivot solutions help us overcome these challenges by providing advanced data analysis and visualization tools, enabling us to make informed decisions and stay on track. As we discussed in the previous slide, the common workflow of defining objectives, gathering data, running analysis, and reviewing results is generally very manageable. However, as the size of your projects increase, the need for rapid iteration becomes more critical. When managing large-scale projects, the complexity and volume of data can be overwhelming. The larger the project, the more challenging it becomes to make timely decisions and adjustments. To address this, it's essential to position your team to iterate quickly and efficiently. Pivot provides the tools needed to view results, understand data sources, and run analysis repeatedly. This allows us to refine our strategies and make necessary changes without delay. Rapid iteration helps us stay agile and responsive to changing conditions. It ensures that we can adapt to new data, run analysis again, and make informed decisions based on the latest insights. By leveraging pivot solutions, we can overcome the challenges of managing large projects and mitigate risks effectively. As the size of your project increases, the need for rapid iteration becomes more important. Pivot enables us to iterate quickly, refine our strategies, and stay on track. So let's explore a little more about how Pivot specifically can assist with each of these steps in our project lifecycle. First, Pivot excels at gathering data. We provide access to over 550 industry standard curated data sources that are normalized, current, and documented. This ensures that we have reliable and up-to-date information for your project planning. If your project requires additional information that is not included in the provided Pivot data, users can incorporate their own internal data sources into the platform and include them in your analysis. Next, Pivot helps us run analysis efficiently. With robust integration opportunities and advanced spatial systems, we can process the data to extract meaningful insights. This allows us to identify patterns, trends, and potential risks. One of the tools on the Pivot platform is the Aware tool. Aware allows users to quickly visualize, analyze, and report on hundreds of data layers within minutes. The user can choose to define an area of interest simply by dropping a point, line, or polygon into a location, then set a buffer to define your study area and create custom reports to assess the situation. Once the analysis is complete, Pivot supports us in reviewing results. It offers comprehensive data analysis and visualization tools that help us evaluate the outcomes of our analysis. Whether it's utilizing detailed crossing reports and route or leveraging permitting punch lists and Aware, we can understand where the data came from and what is driving the output, making informed decisions to ensure the success of our projects. Finally, after reviewing our results, Pivot enables us to adjust our strategies. Here you can see one of the key features in Pivot's route tool, the play. Play is an acronym that stands for Prefer, Low Avoidance, Avoid, and Exclude. The play allows you to specify your preferences for creating data-driven routes. The user has the ability to create multiple play scenarios as the project evolves based on new information or changing project requirements. Users can also manually edit system-generated routes and routes that are uploaded into the platform by the user. Simply create a copy of the route, then click on the pencil to start editing. Once clicked, the vertices will appear and you can move them as needed. The play and the route editing tool are great examples of how you can use Pivot to position your team to iterate and adjust, helping to mitigate project risks such as large scale and uncertainty caused by changing objectives. As we position our team to iterate rapidly, it's equally important to identify the opportunities and constraints within our projects to create a more robust strategy for successful project planning and execution. Let's take the example of a new pipeline build to illustrate this. When planning a new pipeline, it's essential to identify the most challenging portions of the linear corridor. These challenges could include difficult terrain, environmental regulations, land ownership issues, or existing infrastructure. By pinpointing these constraints early on, we can develop strategies to address them effectively. For instance, if we know that a particular section of our pipeline route crosses a protected wildlife area, we can plan for necessary environmental impact assessments and obtain the required permits in advance. Likewise, if we anticipate land ownership disputes, we can engage with stakeholders early and often to negotiate agreements and avoid delays. The route suitability surface shown here provides a visual representation of the preferences the user assigns to the constraints using the play. It will help you interpret the why of your results with clear delineation of the constraints. Recognizing opportunities is equally important. For example, if we discover that a section of the route has favorable soil conditions, we can optimize our construction methods to take advantage of this. Or if the existing infrastructure or utility corridors exist, we can explore opportunities for co-location to reduce costs and minimize disruption. Route suitability corridor helps to quickly identify and understand the best opportunities for evaluating route alternatives. Identifying the most challenging portions of the linear corridor helps us to better plan the project, mitigate risk, and create a more effective and resilient strategy to avoid analysis paralysis. So by understanding both the opportunities and constraints, we can create a more robust strategy for the pipeline project. This involves developing contingency plans, allocating resources effectively, and ensuring that our team is agile and prepared to handle any challenges that arise. So now we've seen how Pivvot can expedite the planning process and successfully navigate our way through a common project lifecycle by providing advanced location intelligence and data solutions to remove the barriers of scale, uncertainty, and analysis paralysis. We've learned how we can use Pivvot to identify opportunities and constraints and mitigate project risks. I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Justin now, and he's going to talk about how Pivvot can help oil and gas teams avoid delays.
Great. Thanks, Matt. That's a lot of good information. As we've seen, positioning your team to iterate and identifying opportunities and constraints are crucial steps in mitigating project risk, particularly in the early stages of the planning process. Now let's dive into the second part of our presentation, discussing strategies to help avoid delays. There are many strategies you can employ to avoid delays, and the strategy that you choose will largely be dependent on the type of project your team is taking on. One of the most common strategies we have seen produce consistent results is providing your team with easy to access project data all in one place, a common operational picture. By striving to connect teams and ensuring easy access to reliable and consistent data, we can foster collaboration and streamline decision-making processes. By having a common operational picture, we can anticipate challenges, coordinate efforts, and make informed decisions quickly. This reduces the likelihood of delays and ensures that our projects stay on track and our team is aligned. Based on our experience partnering with our customers, we have identified a clear pattern that successful common operational pictures follow. First, focus on the problem to be solved. It's crucial to help your team stay focused on the desired outcome. To achieve this, start by documenting the problem to be solved and ensure that everyone is familiar with the problem definition. When the entire team understands the problem clearly, it aligns their efforts towards a common goal. Technology decisions, partners, and one-off use cases are all important aspects of the project. However, without a clear understanding of the desired outcome, these elements can contribute to confusion and misalignment. By keeping the problem definition at the forefront, we can make informed decisions that drive us towards our goal. This approach not only streamlines our processes, but also enhances collaboration and efficiency within the team. Clarity in the problem definition is the foundation for achieving our desired outcomes. Next, strive to connect teams. A common operational picture is intended to facilitate multidisciplinary teams, ensuring that everyone is on the same page and working towards a shared goal. To achieve this, it's essential to understand the needs of a variety of team members who are carrying out different tasks. Each team member may have unique requirements and perspectives, and it's important to consider these when planning and executing projects. This will require a greater variety of data and robust reporting to ensure that all aspects of the project are covered and that everyone has the information they need to perform their roles effectively. Moreover, it's important to ensure that you have all the stakeholders in the room. By involving all relevant parties in discussions and decision-making processes, you can foster collaboration, address concerns promptly, and make more informed decisions. This inclusive approach helps us to build a cohesive team environment where everyone feels valued and heard. Finally, make it easy. This may sound like a general statement, but its importance can't be overstated. So what should be easy? Signing into the system, navigating to the data that matters to your role, adding and removing users, updating project data. Anything you can simplify or make easy will work in your favor. Excess complexity will slow you and your team down. A system that can't move at the same speed as your project will fail to meet the needs of your teams and lead to costly delays. Therefore, it's essential to prioritize repetitive and mission-critical tasks. Focus your teams on eliminating complexities and streamlining processes. This is the problem to be solved. By making these elements easy, we can ensure that our projects run smoothly, efficiently, and without unnecessary delays. Simplicity and ease of use are key to setting your teams up for success. Make it easy is all about designing the path of least resistance. This means creating an experience that is intuitive and accessible to ensure adoption. For technical teams, it involves designing processes that consider user needs, security requirements, and operational costs. By focusing on these aspects, we can ensure that both users and teams can navigate and utilize the system efficiently and effectively. Data access and integration. Let's take a minute and talk about data access and integration. As your project progresses, so will your processes. The way users access data and how current that data will be is dictated by your data access and integration strategy. It's important to understand that if incorporating data from external systems adds complexity and requires more resources, it's unlikely that that data will get integrated into your system. When data integration is cumbersome, users will naturally seek easier ways to manage and share their data. This can lead to the creation of more systems and potentially more silos, which can fragment your data landscape and hinder collaboration. To avoid this, it's essential to prioritize simplicity and efficiency in your data integration processes. Ensure that your system can seamlessly incorporate mission-critical data without adding unnecessary complexity. By doing so, you can maintain a unified data environment where all team members have access to the most current and relevant information. With all that being said, what is the solution I'm proposing? In the oil and gas industry, projects often gravitate towards spatial systems when teams need a common operational picture. Spatial systems provide a comprehensive view of the project's geographical and infrastructural elements, allowing teams to visualize and analyze data in meaningful ways. Spatial systems offer robust integration opportunities, enabling us to combine various data sources and create a unified view of the project. This helps us identify potential risks, optimize routes, and make more informed decisions based on real-time data. By leveraging spatial systems, we can ensure that all team members have access to the same information, reducing the likelihood of miscommunication and delays. This common operational picture is crucial for coordinating efforts, managing resources, and achieving project goals efficiently. Now let's dive into the importance of data integration. Integrating data from various sources is key to creating a seamless and efficient workflow. It ensures access to dependable and current information, enabling us to make informed decisions. In the Pivvot ecosystem, we define the aggregation of data and reports as a site view. Site views facilitate seamless access to the project data in both spatial and tabular formats and enable the integration of data from other systems. We'll be highlighting important considerations for data integration into your spatial common operational picture using information we know best, the Pivvot platform. While we will showcase Pivvot's functionality, please understand that these concepts are applicable to any technology or platform you decide to build or buy. First, authoritative data. Having access to trusted industry standard data is crucial for successful project planning and execution. This includes environmental, geotechnical, land use, property ownership, and jurisdictional and energy and infrastructure data. Many of these data sets are available from authoritative sources and can be integrated into your common operational picture. However, the challenge with authoritative data lies in normalizing and updating it. Data normalization is a crucial process that structures a database by eliminating redundancy, organizing data efficiently, and ensuring data integrity. Up-to-date, high-quality data ensures that your team's desktop studies are as accurate as possible. When evaluating the total cost of ownership of authoritative data, it's important to consider factors such as update intervals, data pipeline creation and maintenance, and the acquisition cost of licensed data. Here at Pivvot, we've removed the guesswork from authoritative data by providing these industry standard data out of the box. Our data is curated, normalized, and documented, ensuring that it's reliable and up to date. This means that we don't have to spend valuable time and resources gathering and verifying data from multiple sources. Instead, we can focus on analyzing the data and making informed decisions. We also provide a data API, which allows you to integrate your existing systems, but more on APIs later. The inclusion of industry standard data is vital for the success of our projects. Pivvot provides this data out of the box and keeps it regularly updated, allowing us to plan and execute our projects with confidence. In addition to authoritative data, we need to consider business data. Another key aspect of successful common operational picture is the ability to quickly and easily add project-specific business data. This is crucial for ensuring that our plans are accurate and up to date and tailored to the unique requirements of each project and each team member. By integrating project-specific spatial data, we can continually update, refresh, and configure our project plans to reflect the latest information. This enables us to make informed decisions based on the most current data, thereby reducing the risk of errors and delays. While APIs are the most efficient method for updating business data, they do require more upfront effort. Consequently, manually uploading data will inevitably become a regular activity. Therefore, the ease with which your team can manually create and update business data is crucial. For larger projects, the curation and maintenance of business data can become a full-time job. Surveying data, construction variance requests, landowner outreach, they can all change rapidly. It is essential to allocate resources for performing data updates, whether internally or through a trusted partner. Pivvot makes this process seamless by providing tools that enable us to easily incorporate and manage project-specific data. Whether it's environmental data, regulatory information, or other critical business data, Pivvot ensures that we have everything we need at our fingertips. The ability to quickly and easily add project-specific business data is essential to creating a valuable, trusted, common operational picture. Next, let's talk about APIs. Projects involving multidisciplinary teams will encompass numerous systems. Each team will have processes and needs that extend beyond the scope of your common operational picture. An important consideration when evaluating data needs is the source of truth. This designates where your team will turn if there are questions about the accuracy or timeliness of a particular data set. For some data sets, your common operational picture will serve as the source of truth. For other data set, it will provide a representation while offering additional context from authoritative and business data. When an external system is the source of truth, API integration will ensure that the representation remains up to date. APIs allow different software systems to communicate with each other, enabling seamless data exchange and integration. API integration is a critical component of modern project management systems. While it may require more upfront, the long-term benefits are substantial. By integrating APIs, we can automate, centralize, and streamline our existing systems, ensuring that our data is always up to date and our team is working with the most current information. Choosing a technology that provides a robust API is essential. A well-designed API ensures that the integration process is smooth and that the data remains consistent and reliable. It also allows for scalability. So as our projects grow, our systems can easily adapt to handle the increase in data volume. In summary, while API integration may require more effort up front, it solves long-term challenges by keeping data up to date and ensuring that our team has access to the most current information. By choosing a technology with a robust API, we can streamline our processes, reduce errors, and improve overall process efficiency. Finally, if field data is a project requirement, make sure it is easy to integrate and, more importantly, easy to use. One of the most powerful features of Pivvot is its seamless integration with Fulcrum. Fulcrum is a platform for field data collection and workflow automation, designed to maximize field team performance and agility. It connects the field with the back office, improving process rigor. This integration allows users to make data collection in the field available in near real time, supporting a wide range of activities such as construction variance requests, landowner outreach, right-of-way acquisition, and many other management of change activities. Imagine being able to collect data in the field and have it instantly accessible to your entire team. This real-time data availability ensures that everyone is working with the most up-to-date information, reducing delays and improving decision-making. Fulcrum enables users to collect new data in the field, or update existing information with ease. This flexibility allows your team to utilize the tool wherever necessary. Additionally, you can engage with our services team to create and maintain forms or populate data sets from existing business or authoritative data. This approach streamlines your data collection processes, reduces manual entry errors, and ensures consistency across all your projects. The integration of Pivvot with Fulcrum empowers your team to work more efficiently and effectively by providing real-time data access and pre-populated forms. This enhances your ability to manage projects, mitigate risk, and achieve your goals. In conclusion, establishing a common operational picture is a powerful tool for preventing delays in your projects. The problem to be solved will vary from project to project, but you can mitigate unknown technical issues and costs by guiding your team through the build versus buy decision. While it may be tempting to view reinventing the wheel as a form of differentiation, it's more effective to focus on building business processes on top of reliable systems. This approach enhances the value you and your team can bring to your customers. When building a common operational picture, don't lose sight of striving to connect teams. Strive to connect teams by evaluating authoritative data and business data needs of all parties involved. Next, make it easy. Team members will access information and leverage processes that are easy. Avoid silos by ensuring you are providing the easiest access. Next, consider the total cost of ownership. Make sure you're aligning operational costs with value. And finally, have a plan to get data into the system and keep it up to date. With all that being said, I think it's worth mentioning Pivvot services. Pivvot offers a comprehensive suite of services designed to enhance your project management capabilities. Our services include site view setup, site view maintenance, support, custom product delivery, and data services. By leveraging these services, you can create a seamless workflow that keeps your project on track. One of the key aspects of our services is the ability to provide real-time data access and integration. This ensures that your team always has access to the most current information, enabling them to make informed decisions and avoid project delays. Our solutions are designed to connect teams, provide easy access to data, and leverage spatial content to keep everyone informed and aligned. Additionally, the collaboration between Pivvot and Terracon fosters seamless integration of data and expertise. Our teams work together to provide clients with high-quality technical services focused on speed, efficiency, and partnership. This synergy ensures that projects move forward quickly and efficiently, meeting client demands and exceeding expectations. Our shared innovative spirit and commitment to continuous improvement allows us to deliver high value to our clients. Pivvot and Terracon are better together because we combine cutting-edge technology with deep industry expertise to provide unmatched client experiences. Thank you for joining us today. Your time is valuable, and we are glad that you chose to join us. With that, I will go ahead and open it up to any questions that anyone has or anyone has dropped in the chat.
Awesome. Thank you, Justin and Matt. Just a reminder, you could throw any questions in the Q&A at the bottom of the screen. And I know some of our Terracon colleagues are here, and your questions are welcome too, just so you know. We have one question. How do your clients use your platform to communicate across teams? And do you have an example of this?
Sure, I will field that question. Collaborating across teams, as I had mentioned, involves making sure that you have everyone's needs considered. And an example that, again, I'm going to use our platform to communicate this is through a web map, which we call site views, and the ability to aggregate all of that information together. So if the environmental team and the right-of-way team are both working together, or everyone in that instance is looking at the same information at the same location. So if those teams do need to interact with each other, they both pull up the same map, they have the exact same information, and they can use that information in the same way, right? So imagine our normal day-to-day is hopping on a team call. Everybody can pull up their own version of that map and work through it together and collaborate there. So it's really about getting all of that data centralized and making sure that everyone trusts the data that they're working with, and then they can use that as the conversation piece as they start to collaborate across their various roles.
Awesome. Thank you. Another question. We work with contractors outside of our company. How can we share data with those contractors?
Sure. Same answer. And we do this quite a bit with a number of our existing customers in that as far as the Pivvot platform is concerned, again, I'll answer it through or looking through that lens. Data is aggregated inside of a site view, and then it's up to the organization, the account owner, as to who to share the data with, right? So that data is aggregated and grouped within a site view, and then access to that site view is managed by either us, we manage it for a lot of our customers, or it's managed by your own IT or GIS team, whoever may be managing the user access on your side. And really it just comes down to making sure that you want that person, that contractor to have access to the same data. And then it's easy as adding them to that site view the same way you would add someone within your organization. So we make it very simple, even if your organization has single sign-on and that person is kind of signing in using their own email address, it's pretty seamless. So within our ecosystem, that's the way that we approach that problem. It's, as I said in my presentation, make it easy. It couldn't be any easier within the Pivvot platform to share data outside of your org if you desire to do that.
Awesome. Thank you, Justin. And one more question, unless anybody else wants to throw something in the Q&A box. How large of a project can we do in Pivvot? Is there a limit to the number of miles or the area?
There's not really a limit. There's a number of factors. Those of you involved in technology know the answer is usually it depends. We do support very, very large multi-state projects that involve hundreds of data sets, right? All in one single map. So we have the ability and capability to do that. We're very good at doing that. What we're really going to be looking at is who are the groups and how do those groups need to interact. And so really you're going to want to take a close look at how do you structure the data and provide access where you might have a unified view that provides high level data across the whole project. And then you have a number of focused specialized site views that really accommodate the needs of various groups within that project. That's not required, but it's one of those situations where when we engage with our customers, those are the conversations that we like to have because it makes sure that while folks have a tendency to try to cram everything into a map, maybe it's better to provide, again, a high level overview and then some very focused maps. And within our platform, and most web mapping platforms, it's very easy to switch between those views depending on what role you have. And again, we simplify the process of providing access to one or many of those views, right? Depending on your role, you might just want the high level view of the project. Whereas if you're doing very project specific tasks, you could have the high level view and a focused view. So it's really how you want to provide insights into those data so that users don't feel overwhelmed or walk into that web map and have what Matt mentioned, analysis paralysis, where there's just so much information there. They kind of have a hard time navigating where they need to go. So great question. We have the ability to support extremely large projects, and really it just comes down to what your project goals are. And if you have a situation that kind of meets the conversation I just had, feel free to reach out to us. We're happy to talk through the different ways that we can represent and present that data to your team and your users.
Awesome. So we have another question. Have you seen any changes with how groups are using your software / data as restrictions on oil projects have been lightening up? I think they're referring to like the federal level.
Sure. Matt, I'll let you answer. I guess from my perspective, so far, a lot of the projects that we have been involved with, a lot of the processes have been pre-established. So I don't feel like that has kind of trickled down to affecting us or our services quite yet. But that speaks to the importance of staying agile and the ability to iterate, right, to accommodate those changes. So great question. Matt, do you have anything to add to that?
I'll just add that I think as those restrictions start to loosen up a little bit, people are starting to ask again, what can we do if we move or we're able to move forward in these situations, right? So, teams may have had projects that they have had in mind for a while that now they're thinking they may actually be able to move forward on. So they may have some of the basics laid out. They may already have routes in mind that they want to create a new pipeline for, right? That was held over from before they got held up for one reason or another. One of the cool things about the route application is it's not just about the routes that the system generates. You can use routes that you already have established or come up with to evaluate those potential routing situations. So, you could take the routes that you had, you can load them into the system, and you can get all the information that we have in the Pivvot platform with all of our data to see what else you need to know to arm yourself with the information to get ready to move forward with those projects.
Awesome. I would add, I've seen clients have a lot more projects or potential projects they're bidding, so they're jumping in and creating new projects in our platform and hammering the system with requests for new options on their routes that they already have, or just new routes. So it's definitely a little bit more activity, I would say, and iterating on those old routes that have already been kind of established too. So interesting. All right, that's it for questions. So we're gonna wrap up here. Thanks so much for spending some time with us today talking about oil and gas teams and how to make their projects more efficient and effective. And if you need to contact us, our email addresses are on the screen. We're pretty easy to find too. at any rate. So please reach out if you have any further questions.
Thanks, everyone.